All right, this video is for the washers out there. I haven't made an equipment video or anything like that in like 2 years. So just want to show you how I have my equipment set up and how I'm changing it for this year. After using it for 1 year, I wanted to change things. And I wanted to go over there and talk about that. All right, so this is my skid. It is obviously taken apart. I got lots of things going on. This is an 8-foot skid I bought from a place down in Florida. I sent my guy to pick it up. When I got it, I had an F-250, and it had 5 100-gallon slimline tanks in there. This was here, this was not, this was not. There was an AR-45 on there and this little tank right here. This was a 10-gallon or 11-gallon tank. This is a 26. This was not on here. There are 6 hose reels. We have the top one off because it's giving me some issues. But anyway, with no water, he brought it back within the F-250, and it was squatting it, and all the tanks were empty. So I was like, crap, I gotta get a dually truck. So long story short, got a dually truck, and now this thing doesn't squat at all with the tanks full. So let's go over simple things that I have. I upgraded to the MoFlow. That was one thing that I absolutely wanted to have. I've gone through 12 volts. I've gone through probably more than anyone else has. Like, I'm serious. I used to have a graveyard of all the 12 volts that we had. It was bad. I'm done with 12 volts. No more. Everyone's like, oh, they're so simple. Well, not when employees don't rinse them out, and I have all kinds of issues with them. So bye-bye 12 volt. Hooked up with the AR-45 that's on my trailer. This is the backup rig. We just kind of plopped it on here when we took it off. It runs, it works. It does leak, but it's not huge. When I had that, I thought performance was awesome. Like, what I wanted in a soft wash pump was reliability and distance. So we cleaned a lot of roofs. So that extra distance, reaching to that very top, especially on a windy day, pretty much impossible with a 12 volt. Like, sometimes I feel like I can pee farther than the 12 volts was putting out. So when I got the AR-45, that was a big step up. I'm like, man, this is awesome. But I know there's a lot of issues with it. And the startup is a pain, especially trying to teach an employee how to do that. Man, the look on their faces when I'm explaining to them, they're like, what? So that was an issue. So that's why I had been following the MoFlow and kind of all that. I am rambling, but that's why I upgraded to MoFlow. I won't go into what it is. You can do your own research on it. But I like how it works, and I like the issue. Like, I like the pump on it to where you can set it on the ground and you don't have to turn your machine off because it just shuts the pump off. So that's awesome. Upgraded to the 26-gallon fuel tank because when I have employees and they're having to fill up every day, that's time that I'm paying them to fill up. So with both of these machines running all day, every day, I usually get about 3 days, maybe 4 if I'm just running one machine. So that's nice. It's a big tank, and it holds, and it's great. What I did do when I got it the first time is I took it to my buddy's fab shop and had him add these braces. Hot take on aluminum. All these guys are saying aluminum skids, aluminum's great. Well, it's cheap, it's lightweight, but it's brittle and it's not very strong. We're talking about over 5,000 pounds of weight in this thing when you pick it up, or like when it's full. When you pick it up with the skid or with the forklift, this thing bends. It's crazy. Let me show you these shelves. This one isn't too bad. But it does have a sag to it. Now this helped out big time. Before this wasn't here, I believe this was here, but it didn't help because what it was doing right here was bending this in. The bend point was right here. So all these welds were cracked. I don't believe that was there. I don't think that was there. All of these welds were cracked. Like just about every single one. Yeah, it was looking like this. This is from picking it up with the forklift. But this one's really bad because we got 6 hose reels on this side. That's a lot of weight. Check this out, if it'll show on camera. You can kind of see it. Yeah, there we go. It looks worse in person. But that's why aluminum isn't the best for soft wash skids. If I'm building another rig, I'm going flatbed all day long. No more trailer. This was a huge upgrade from a trailer because now I don't have to pull a trailer around. You just drive a big truck around. But if I do another rig, I'm going flatbed all day long. Flatbed, it's an easy playing field. You can put anything on there. It's an open sandbox. I like the skid, it's awesome, but working on it sucks. So let's get into what I changed. I had 12-volt system here. That's what came with it. I didn't like it. I actually never used it because the pump was already dead on it. How funny is that? There was a transfer pump with a, it's actually sitting right there. This was the old 12-volt. That might have been the transfer pump. Or maybe that was a transfer pump. Either way, there was a transfer pump, so where you can transfer chem into your tank or out of your tank. I deleted that. I found a new drill pump from Harbor Freight that works great. It's a $17 part, and it pumps faster than a 12-volt. It's great. You just hook like a normal drill up to it, and it works. So all this space got opened up because it took, you can see the bolts where it was. So all that was what that was. So I deleted that. The 10 gallon a minute, the black pressure washer, the bypass there is going to go here. We just hooked this up because what I did was I added this second pressure washer. We do a lot of jobs where there's 2 people washing, and I mean, yeah, you can solo wash with the MoFlow, but it doesn't have the pressure to do like decks and things like that. Like when we're doing apartment complexes, we really need to do 2 pressure washers. So what we did is we pulled that stupid thing around. So it was a pain in the butt. So I decided after I was going to build another rig, like I really was. And then I thought, I just kept going over in mind, how can I modify this thing to where I can add a second pressure washer on there? I was wanting hot water as well, but there's just no way. So I settled on just the washer. So this bar was here. This toolbox is underneath. We also have these 2 tanks here that went in there. Okay. This soap tank, and then that was another soap tank, but I changed it to a neutralizer tank so I could flush this system out, make sure my expensive pump is taken care of. So this bar was here. I had my fab guy build this, and we mounted the new washer. This goes down. Now those both tanks sit here. There was another slim line, and it ended kind of right where that foot is, and then the 2 soap tanks were sitting side by side. So all this space, including the toolbox, took up this completely. And then there was a manifold here that I legitimately never used. It's for sale right here if you want it. It's never been used by me. Yes, the top is cracked a little bit, but that's just from sitting in the sun. Yeah, so it never got used, so I got rid of it. And I added the pressure washer. So now I've got all this open room that I'm not fighting to if I need to fix something. So we got this other these 2 tanks that are going to go here. And then, let's see, I got distracted. Okay, I get a text message and then I get distracted. That's how I am, especially when I'm making a video. So this hose here was for the soft wash system. Legitimately, I pulled this hose out like 1 time. In a whole year, we pulled this out 1 time. So that's going to get replaced with pressure hose. That's why this bypass is hooked up. And then this is the window clean stuff. So not bad. Let's talk about another thing. I've got the surface cleaner rack. It goes right here. We already pulled it off. We basically had most of this apart. We got to go through and check out all these hoses on the ends. Some of them have filters on them, some of them haven't, and it looks messy, and it kind of stayed this way throughout the season, so it was a real pain in the butt. Filling up chem was a problem. I had 2 bleach tanks. Now we're down to 1, which is okay. If we have a big job or we're going to use more, then we'll bring the second truck with a barrel. But a big problem was this was the backup one and this was the main one, right? Well, the lid to fill it went right here, right? You couldn't take the lid off without like getting all your strength to force it off. So that's been deleted, and now this can be accessed way easier for filling up chemical. Remote system for the MoFlow is great. I ended up getting the whole plumbing kit, so all this is new, or it's actually a year old now, but when I got it, it was all new. This will still be used for filling up chemical if I have it in our spare tank. So if we're going through a lot of it, I have these filled, and then I can just draw from that and then go through here with no spillage. And then these go to the 2 soap tanks. I use this for water instead of using the pressure washer. Fill up the soap tank. Normally would take the lid off and then stick the ball valve down in there, but then the soap would be like crazy. The water level would be here, and then soap's pouring out at the top. So we fixed that. Okay, and now probably my smartest idea I have decided. So this was basically a battery box. All right, we had a marine distribution block. Check this out. Yeah. So this was inside, right? This was inside, and it got corroded like this. I never figured out why, but I'm guessing it's based on all the open holes in this thing. Now there was all kinds of wiring. Now we got 12 volts, we got transfer pumps. Want to show you this. All of that is the wires that we pulled out, removing the 12 volt system, the switches for all this. I think there was 3 different pumps that we pulled off of this thing. So all that's excess wire that is now not in here. Well, now we pulled all that out. Now we're thinking, wait a minute. All that we really use this for is for the battery box and then a few tools. Well, the tool bag is sitting right here, and you had to move everything out of the way to get to it anyway. So you had to pull it out. We have the whole back seat of the truck. We're going to put the tool bags in there. Now, I've got a new battery box on the way. It is about this size, and it's going to go in here. So we have the 2 tanks, and then now the battery box. That leaves all of this open. I did not have that before. I could put anything in here. We were putting the guns between the bed on each side, and it was kind of a pain to get them in and out. So now all this is open. We can put our soaps, any pails, any specialty chemicals, any kind of really like pump-up sprayers. We never really carried them around because we didn't want to carry them on the inside of the truck, because eventually they end up leaking and then they spray acid and stuff inside the truck. So we didn't really carry them. Now we got a place to keep them outside, and or really anything we want right here. So that's going to work out great, and I'm super excited about that. And then all the wiring is going to get cleaned up. Alex started to install the new distribution block, fuse block. These are all to the hose reels, and then we're going to hook up the remainder. All that's left is the remote system for this and the 2 remote systems for the Moflos. And all that gets covered up. This has a cover on it. We decided to put it here because I believe that is the only spot that is least likely to get wet. And I want to limit, another reason we did it, we're going to have the battery box on this side. These wires aren't long enough to reach over here, and the wires for the motors and stuff aren't long enough to come over here. And I wanted to keep this space, so we decided to put it there. We'll see how that goes. It does have a cover on it, so we should be all right. All right, so I'm editing the video, and I realized my camera was sideways, and you can't switch it back forth. So let me finish this video out. Kind of a rant. Didn't really know where I was going with this video, but just want to show you my equipment and a few things about talking about the aluminum skid, why all these guys are making aluminum skids. They ain't made for weight. So I'm sure it's fine for like smaller skids. Like I got a crap ton of stuff on there. It's just how it was. I bought it from a guy who bought it brand new. So I bought it year-old. Midwest is the one who manufactured it, I believe. My opinion, they put too much on there, but at the time he was selling it, and I was like, man, this thing still hasn't sold. This thing's got 6 hose reels on it. That's crazy. And I started like adding out all the pieces if I were to build it, and it was cheaper. So I was like, wow, I'll just buy that, you know, whatever. That's why I ended up buying it. But now that I've had it for a year, if I'm doing it again, I would definitely do a flatbed. If you're thinking about buying a skid, there's pros and cons. The pros of the skid is you can take it in and out. If you have a forklift, you gotta have a forklift. Luckily, I got neighbors who got forklifts, so get buddies with those guys. You can keep your bed. You can keep your normal bed, and you can use your bed for advertisement for like a wrap. But I got a dually truck because it couldn't handle the weight. You guys who are running F-250s and F-350s with skids, that's too much weight. That even with the water out, it's honestly too much weight, especially my skid. Now, there are smaller skids that don't have as much. Like they got 200 gallons of water and then 100 slim, and then it's all the other equipment that adds up too. So you got to do the math on that and see if your truck can handle it. The difference between a 250 and a 350 really ain't that much, but you get the dually, then it's a whole lot more. So there's pros and cons to having the skid. You can pull it out and you're gonna advertise. The cons are the weight. But if you're going all the way up to a dually, I would say just get a flatbed and be done with it. You can have signs made and installed on the sides for advertisement. If you get a new flatbed, sometimes if it has diamond plate or no diamond plate, if you get the kind without diamond plate, you can wrap that. And you get more space to work with. So make your decision on that. I'm gonna make this video not too long and cut it out. If you got any questions, put them down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I don't know about you all, but I'm ready for the wash season. Like, come on, get this freaking snow out of here. Let's wash. All right. I don't know about y'all. See y'all later. Thanks.